r/AskReddit. What's a let that sink in fun fact? It took humanity approximately 4 times longer to switch from copper swords to steel swords than it took to switch from steel swords to nuclear bombs. When will we get nuclear swords? Are you discussing the option of a more elegant weapon, perhaps for a more civilized age? When NASA pitched the idea of the Voyager missions to Richard Nixon with the idea of touring the outer planets, he was told that the last time it was possible, Thomas Jefferson was in the White House. The particular planetary alignment that Voyager 2 used on its journey occurs only once every 176 years. If the sun was scaled down to the size of a white blood cell, the Milky Way galaxy would be the size of the continental United States. The vastness of space is mind-boggling. Next to the US Army, Disney World is the largest buyer and importer of explosives in the USA. I was wondering what Mickey needed nukes for before I remembered fireworks exist. There was a time in history when trees existed but the fungi which causes wood to rot had not yet evolved to digest wood. Dead trees and plants would pile up and the 35% oxygen atmosphere caused massive fires. This is also the time where petrified wood came from. Trees would sit in mud for 1000s of years and not rot while minerals slowly replace the wood structures. Scientists who work with cockroaches often develop allergies towards cockroaches. At the same time, they also develop allergies to pre-ground coffee. You can place all the planets of our solar system between Earth and Moon and even have a bit of spare space after. Dozens of Americans die every day from slipping in the shower and hitting their heads. Dozens. I tell you, it's one of the primary leading causes of non-medical deaths in the USA. That's why you gotta sit in the shower and enjoy relaxation of not going to die. There is, on average, a supernova explosion every 50 years in the Milky Way. On average, there are 30 every second in the observable universe. There are more chickens in America than people on the planet. The US Navy has the second largest air force in the world. The US Army has the third. Neutron stars have such strong gravity that if you dropped a marshmallow into one, it would be like dropping a 3-megaton nuclear warhead on Earth. Also, if you add mass to a neutron star, the volume of the star shrinks. Gary Newman is older than Gary Oldman by a little under 2 weeks. Bill Clinton, George W. Bush and Donald Trump were all born within a 66-day stretch. Macaulay Culkin is now older than Catherine O'Hara was when she played his mom in Home Alone. Mark Hamill in The Force Awakens is the same age that Alec Guinness was in A New Hope. If you have clean water and temperature control, you are better off than half the population. The first electric car was invented at the end of the 19th century and it went 65 miles per hour. Because early gas engines had very low torque, some of the earliest cars were gas electric. There are more tigers privately owned in Texas than tigers in the wild. Edit. Wording. The overall goal in golf is to play less golf. This is analogous to my approach at my job. The Holy Roman Empire existed until 30 years after the United States was founded, 1776 to 1806. The moon orbits us from the west to the east, but we see it move across the sky east to west because of the rate of the Earth's rotation. Our observation is like being in a faster car watching a slower car, heading in the same absolute direction, fall further and further behind us. To be in the top 1% of Americans in terms of income, you need to rake in about $400,000 a year, rounded off to $1,000 a day. Hoo-hoo, I only have $999 to go today. The US dropped 26,172 bombs last year, 2016. That's almost 72 per day. That's about 3 bombs an hour, every hour. For the entire year, in 2017, the US had already dropped more bombs than that by September. Maine is the closest US state to Africa. The majority of the first American settlers only survived the first winter by eating their dead children. The entire continent of South America is east of Florida. As you get closer to black hole, time goes slower. This means that everything farther away would experience time faster and faster as you get closer and closer to the black hole. A second for you could be a billion years for those outside of it. Thus, if you fell into a black hole and looked outside, you would see the universe die with you. The United States hasn't minted any new Purple Heart medals since World War II. We've been using the stockpile that was prepared in anticipation of a ground invasion of Japan. You don't remember being born or most of the first years of your existence. All you know is one day you just started existing and taking in experience memories. All that stuff you learn about in history class about civilizations rising up and dying out, about certain groups killing off other groups and taking over their lands, that is still happening right now. The overwhelming majority of hands you've touched have had a dong in them at one point. Next year, there will be porn stars who were born in 2000. Fanta started as a Coca-Cola substitute in 1940s Nazi Germany. Schizophrenia's hallucinations are shaped by culture. Americans with schizophrenia tend to have more paranoid and harsher voices hallucinations. In India and Africa, people with schizophrenia tend to have more playful and positive voices. Lobsters don't die of old age. Taking into consideration that humanity has only explored a small percentage of the ocean, there could very well be a big duck-eyed lobster just chilling out there. Edit. Apparently the square cube law prevents super huge lobsters, but there are still some pretty big ones out there that we don't really get to see. I saw one on the internet that was 4 feet long, had 2-foot long legs, and weighed 14 pounds. Still pretty cool. There was a period of time where 4 distinct species of human lived concurrently. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.